So the update that millions and millions of Social Security recipients were waiting for has finally arrived.
Thanks very much for joining me. We are living in a dangerous and unprecedented moment in American history. And I'm getting a lot of calls from people who are not only upset about what's happening, but are wondering how we best go forward. Well, let me tell you, we've got to be smart, we've got to be organized, and we've got to fight back. This is not a time for wallowing in despair and hiding under the covers. The stakes are just too high.
Well, I'm going to show you this entire video clip where Bernie Sanders finally spoke about President Donald J. Trump's recent decision. And at the same time, Bernie Sanders is condemning Trump for ignoring working family issues in his inauguration speech. And it doesn't stop here. Now, beneficiaries under Social Security Fairness Act could be waiting more than 1 year for adjusted payments, and Social Security Administration finally confirmed it. I'm gonna break down each and everything, but all I need is just a little favor. It's gonna take only 2 seconds of yours to please hit that like button on this video. So without any further ado, let's start. So let's start the video with the biggest update that millions and millions of Social Security recipients were waiting for. And they were waiting for Bernie Sanders to say something about the recent decisions of Donald J. Trump, including the topic of Social Security. Senator Bernie Sanders pulled no punches when quoting Donald Trump's inaugural address, calling out former president for failing to address key issues affecting working families in America. In a video posted after the event, Sanders expressed his frustration with Trump's speech, saying it ignored the real challenges millions of Americans faces every day, adding, "How crazy is that?" And remember that Bernie Sanders finally published a video and he said some very shocking things. I'm gonna show you that video, but remember that when it comes to the Social Security recipients, millions of Social Security beneficiaries are going to wait more than a year to receive a boost in their benefits, and Social Security Administration confirmed it. I'm gonna give you details about it, but first let's watch this entire video clip from Bernie Sanders where he talked about the recent decisions taken from President Donald J. Trump.
Thanks very much for joining me. We are living in a dangerous and unprecedented moment in American history. And I'm getting a lot of calls from people who are not only upset about what's happening, but are wondering how we best go forward. Well, let me tell you, we've got to be smart, we've got to be organized, and we've got to fight back. This is not a time for wallowing in despair and hiding under the covers. The stakes are just too high. We're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for our kids, for future generations. We're fighting for the future of this planet. In the first 2 weeks of his presidency, Donald Trump defied the Constitution by ending birthright citizenship, fired government watchdogs, allowed drilling along our coastlines, pardoned violent insurrectionists, suspended all foreign aid, and tried to cut off virtually all federal funding. So, how do we go forward? First, to be effective, we've got to understand what, in fact, is happening around us right now. Second, we need a short-term strategy. What do we do tomorrow and the next day and the day after that? Third, we need a long-term strategy. How do we build a movement that gains political power? Here is, in my view, a brief overview as to what is happening under Trump. Most importantly, the move toward oligarchy in our country, government run by the rich and the powerful, is proceeding rapidly. And it's not being done secretly. A little over a week ago, Donald Trump was inaugurated for his second term. Standing right behind him are the three richest men in the world, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg. Men who have become over $200 billion richer since Trump was elected and who now are worth almost $1 trillion more money than the bottom half of American society, 170 million people.
So let me know in the comments below, what do you think what Bernie Sanders had to say about President Donald J. Trump's recent decision? And the irony is that he did not even talk about Social Security. You know, this video is 7 minutes long and it's not possible to show the entire video, but at the same time, when I personally watched the entire video, he never mentioned Social Security in his 7 minutes video. And this is the biggest question that millions and millions of Social Security recipients are asking right now, that Bernie Sanders was the only person who proposed a very important bill that can give a fixed $200 increase every single month to all 72 million Social Security recipients. So how come he's not talking about Social Security? Yes, he's talking about the recent decisions of President Donald J. Trump, which is indeed quite understandable since he belongs to a Democratic Party. But we need to understand that if he's standing for something, he should stand firm on his own decisions. Moving towards the details that millions and millions of Social Security recipients are worried about, over 3.2 million Americans are now eligible for new benefits under the recently passed Social Security Act. We should say congratulations, but look at this. Many of them could be waiting over a year to see their payments. This is the biggest problem right now, and yet no one is talking about it. This Social Security Act was passed from the House, passed from the Senate, and former President Joe Biden signed on it. And Tom Tillis as well as John Larson both talked about it, and they said that the Social Security Administration will not be able to fund this new bill because they simply don't have the funds. So how this bill was passed, and at the same time how President Joe Biden signed on it when they knew that Social Security Administration had no funds to fund this very important bill that is giving an average increase of $360 to over 3 million Social Security recipients who worked in the public sector, such as janitors, firefighters, police officers. So we need to understand they put their life at risk to serve American people. So why they passed a bill with no plan at all that how they're going to fund it? And this is what millions and millions of Social Security recipients are asking. And it raises a very important question, and I would like to ask you that if you have any answer, then please let me know in the comments below. And the question is simple, that if they're not able to give an increase to only 3.2 million Americans who receive Social Security, how they are going to give increase to all 72 million Social Security recipients who are struggling right now in this worst inflation. A number of them are receiving below poverty level check, and you know what's the number? 5 million Social Security recipients are receiving below poverty level checks, and who cares about them? It seems like no one. So if you have any questions at all, then please let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer each and every question of yours, as Credit Viral channel will always be with you in your good and difficult times. A number of our subscribers are saying they're not receiving the notifications of our videos. So all you need to do is to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell icon, and from the drop down menu click on all. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, please take care and have a nice day.